Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to one of my favorite plays, A Raisin in the Sun. Today I'm going to be reading the first part, part A of assignment number 4. So you will be answering the questions, or at least the first half, relatively, of assignment number 4 while I'm reading this. And then tomorrow, when we read part B, you can finish answering those questions for assignment number 4. Now, when we left off, Mama had just met Assegai for the first time, and she was very impressed with Assegai. Not just with how he looked. I mean, she is making fun of Benita at the end of our reading yesterday for how cute he is. You know, that he's a good-looking man, and she's saying, "Missionary, my Aunt Jenny, I can see why we're getting so interested in Africa around here." I think she was just kind of making fun of Benita just to have fun with her, but she really liked his politeness and his respect. He was very polite and very respectful, not just to her, but also to her daughter. And that can come through by the nickname that he gave her. That's what we talked about at the end of our last assignment. He was calling her Aleo. And they asked, what does Aleo mean? And he explained that it means one for whom bread or food is not enough. And that's just a really nice way of talking about Benita, because she is not happy with just getting enough in life. She wants more. In other words, she wants her dreams. She wants to have her dreams. She wants to live her dreams. And that's the way it should be for everybody, of course. And Assegai really appreciates that Benita not only has dreams, but she lives them. She works for them. She's going to medical school no matter how hard it is. All the obstacles she has to face, because that's her dream, and she's going to go for it no matter what. So it was very nice what he said to her, calling her that nickname, Aleo. And then, of course, you have Mama, who invited him over for some home-cooked meals in the future, because she recognizes that this is actually a really good guy. So we're going to pick it up from there. Assegai has just left. He said goodbye, and he exits. And Mama says after him, "Lord, that's a pretty thing that just went out of here," insinuatingly to her daughter. "Yes, I guess I see why we done commenced to get so interested in Africa around here. Missionary's my Aunt Jenny." And then she exits, and Benita says, "Oh, Mama." Okay, so here she goes. Now, don't forget also that another thing that Assegai did, which really showed how much he cares for Benita, is he got her some Nigerian robes and records, and he sent all the way out to Nigeria and to his sister from her own personal wardrobe that she sent these over. So it really shows you how much he likes her. I mean, he did pretty much tell her that he feels he has some definite feelings for her, and he has asked her to investigate her feelings and come back and tell him whether or not she wants to be his girlfriend. She told him she doesn't know right now. She needs to look into herself. She wants to find out more about herself before she decides who she's going to be with. And we're going to go from there. So Benita says, "Oh, Mama." She picks up the Nigerian dress and holds it up to her in front of the mirror again. She sets the headdress on haphazardly and then notices her hair again and clutches at it, and then replaces the headdress and frowns at herself. Oh, yes. Let's not forget what Assegai said about her hair. He said that the robes looked beautiful on her and she wore them well, even with her mutilated hair. And remember, she got very upset. She said, "What do you mean my mutilated hair? What are you referring to?" And he very nicely responded her by asking her if the way she wears her hair is her normal way, if that's natural. And she said, of course it's not natural, that she straightens it and she manipulates it in order to get it this way. And he asked her why. And he pointed out to her that in Nigeria, people and women, all people, don't change their hair. And then he pointed out that she might be an assimilationist. And I think he said that word knowing darn well that that was going to anger Benita, because she does not consider herself an assimilationist. In other words, somebody who does what society wants her to do. No. Benita does what Benita wants to do. So now that she's looking at the headdress over her hair, and look at what she does. She replaces the headdress and frowns at herself. She doesn't like what she sees as far as her hair not being natural. I wonder if she'll change it. Then she starts to wiggle in front of the mirror as she thinks a Nigerian woman might. Travers enters and stands regarding her. So she's wearing this Nigerian robe, which she probably doesn't have on correctly because it has to be very draped very nicely and whatnot. I think they're very beautiful, actually, these robes. Very colorful and very beautiful. And now she's wiggling in front of the mirror as she thinks a Nigerian woman might. And now Travis came in and he's watching his aunt. He probably thinks that there's something, wrong with her because she's not moving the way he's ever seen her move. And he actually says, "What's the matter, girl? You cracking up? Beneatha, shut up. She pulls the headdress off again and looks at herself in the mirror and clutches at her hair again and squinches her eyes as if trying to imagine something. Guys, gals, what is she imagining when she squinches her eyes and looks and clutches at her hair? Yes, she's imagining what her hair would look like if she kept it natural. If she didn't, I don't want to say mutilate it. That's Asagai's word. But if she didn't manipulate it, change it, straighten it so that it wasn't as kinky and as high off her head, right? I think she's thinking about changing it. Then suddenly she gets her raincoat and kerchief and hurriedly prepares for going out. So after looking at her hair and messing with it and looking at, imagining how it would look differently, she then grabs her coat and she's about to run out of there. Where is she going? Mama coming back into the room. She's resting now. Travis, baby, run next door and ask Miss Johnson to please let me have a little kitchen cleanser. This here can is empty as Jacob's kettle. Okay, now, Mama is trying to get Travis out of the room for a minute. I don't know if it was just to ask Miss Johnson, the neighbor, for some cleaning stuff, or if she wants to continue the conversation with Beneatha regarding Ruth. Now, remember, we found out that Ruth is pregnant again, and she is not happy about it. Unfortunately, she is not happy because she's worried about bringing this child into their life of poverty. And she's also worried about how it's going to affect her husband, Walter, who again is having troubles with his dreams, right? And Mama, if you'll recall, before she sent Ruth in to go rest because Asagai had showed up, Mama had asked her about going and seeing the doctor, and Ruth had said something about going to see a female doctor, and Ruth said she went and saw a female doctor, and Mama and Beneatha instantly know there's something wrong because their doctor is not a female. We'll talk about that when we get up to it. So let's go. Travis, I just came in. Mama, do as you told. He exits and she looks at her daughter. Where are you going? Beneatha, halting at the door, to become a queen of the Nile. She exits in a breathless blaze of glory. Ruth appears in the bedroom doorway. All right, now, first of all, does Mama understand what Beneatha means by saying she's going to go become a queen of the Nile? Now, Beneatha's speaking metaphorically, of course. She is not going to Africa. She is not going to the Nile River. But when she says to become a queen of the Nile, what she's referring to is she is going to go back to her heritage as far as the way she looks, the way she wears her hair. Let's continue. So apparently, Asagai has a really big effect on Beneatha, and he knows that. That's why he used the words mutilate and assimilationist, because he was trying to get Beneatha to stop assimilating. And the best way to do that is to point out that she is assimilating, because Beneatha does not want to be told that that's how she lives. She wants to know that she does it her way. Mama, who told you to get up? Ruth. Ain't nothing wrong with me to be lying in no bed for. Where did Betty go? Mama, drumming her fingers. As far as I can make out, to Egypt. Ruth just looks at her. What time is it getting to? Ruth, 10:20. And the mailman going to ring that bell this morning just like he done every morning for the last umpteen years. Okay, now, that's right, OMG. Today, the mailman is coming with the check. $10,000 in their time, $150,000 roughly in our time. What a day, right? I'm excited that there's a check coming in for me for like $500. Woohoo, $500. We're going out to dinner. We're doing something. But $150,000 cash, hugeness. Travis, she said to tell you that she don't have much. Mama, angrily. Lord, some people I could name sure is tight-fisted, directing her grandson. Mark 2 cans of kitchen cleanser down on that list there. If she that hard up for kitchen cleanser, I sure don't want to forget to get her none. Lena, maybe the woman is just short on cleanser. Mama, not listening. Much bacon powder she done borrowed from me all these years. She could have gone into the bacon business. So Mama, this is actually one of the first times you're going to see Mama upset in this book. And she's upset because their neighbor didn't give them any kitchen cleanser. She sent her grandson over to ask for a little cleanser. Give me a little powder so I can clean something. And the neighbor came back with, I don't have enough to share with you. And Mama's anger is that, you know what? We've been giving her so much baking powder over the years. I think we're learning right now that Miss Johnson, the neighbor, is not a good lady. I mean, yes, maybe she is out of cleanser, but I'm getting the feeling like she's being selfish and not sharing. Okay. The bell sounds suddenly and sharply, and all three are stunned, serious and silent in mid-speech. Time out. Why do they all get stunned and quiet and serious and silent when the bell rings? It's just the doorbell. What's so important about this doorbell ring? It might be the mailman giving them this money. And will their life change after getting all of this money? OMG, it's going to change greatly. For one, now Benita's medical school is going to be paid off, and that's a big deal. For two, if mama has her way with it, doesn't give the money to Walter, and uses that money to live out her dream, they're going to be buying a house soon. And think about the difference in their life when they have their own home. I don't think Ruth will be as sad about bringing a baby into the apartment, because they won't be bringing it into the apartment. She'll be bringing it into the home. But again, I'm not so sure it's about that. Her problem with the baby, her sadness about the baby, I think it has to do more with Walter. And she knows Walter's not going to be happy about the baby, because he's going to see it as a problem dealing with his dreams. Let's continue. In spite of all the other conversations and distractions of the morning, this is what they have been waiting for. I mean, think about what they've gone through this morning. They had that whole fight with Walter, right? You had Ruth coming back from the doctor and having to go take a nap. You had, oh my God, the whole thing with the rat and the beating of the rat outside, which made Ruth sad and realized that she doesn't want to live in this apartment. She doesn't want to bring another baby into this apartment and into this squalor and poverty and poorness. And of course, you also had Assegai coming over. So all this has been happening this morning. It's been a pretty busy Saturday morning. But this is what they've been waiting for. And they just haven't been waiting for it this morning. They've been waiting for it for months. Travis, even Travis, who looks helplessly from his mother to his grandmother. Ruth is the first to come to life again. Ruth to Travis, get down them steps, boy. Travis snaps to life and flies to go get the mail. Mama, her eyes wide, her hands to her breast. You mean it really done come? Ruth excited. Oh, Miss Lena. Mama collecting herself. Well, I don't know what we all so excited about around here for. We known it was coming for months. Ruth, that's a whole lot different from having it come and being able to hold it in your hands. A piece of paper worth $10,000. Travis bursts back into the room. He holds the envelope high above his head like a little dancer. His face is radiant and he is breathless. Think about this. Travis is never going to forget this day for the rest of his life. I doubt any of the other guys and ladies are going to forget it. You know, Ruth and Mom and Benita and Walter, but definitely Travis. This is a 10-year-old boy, and he can not only is he excited about getting this money, but he can sense just how much excitement there is about the money. Although we're going to see in a minute, Mama is not going to be so very excited when she sees this check, because when she's holding this check in her hands and she's looking at this check, it's going to make her realize what isn't she holding and what isn't she seeing every day. And the answer to that is her husband. Now, what would she rather have than that check for $10,000? She would rather have her husband. I'll tell you right now, step out of this. My wife and I both have life insurance. I think my life insurance is about $750,000 and my wife's is $1 million. I'll tell you right now. And by the way, my wife's is more than mine because she makes more money than I do. So I would need more money if she passed away, if she wasn't here to help me in the family. But I'll tell you right now, the idea of having $1 million would be great. Woo, I got $1 million. But if it meant not having my wife with me, what? I'd rather be in debt $1 million and have my wife than have $1 million and not have her. Are you kidding me? I mean, if I had $1 million, who would I want to share it with and spend it with? My wife. So it would be not a happy thing to get that money. And that's what Mama's about to deal with right now. And Travis is going to have a hard time understanding that. Gee, isn't she happy? Why isn't she happy? It's because she's thinking about her dead husband who she'd rather be with. So he moves to his grandmother with sudden, slow ceremony, and he puts the envelope into her hands. She accepts it and then merely holds it and looks at it. Come on, open it. Lord have mercy. I wish Walter Lee was here. Travis, open it, Grandmama. Mama staring at it. Now you all be quiet. It's just a check. Ruth, you open it. Mama's still staring at it. Now don't act silly. We ain't never been no people to act silly about no money. Ruth, swiftly. We ain't never had none before. Open it. Mama finally makes a good strong tear and pulls out the thin blue slice of paper and inspects it closely. The boy and his mother study it rapidly over Mama's shoulders. Mama, Travis, she's counting off with Dad. Is that the right number of zeros? Travis, yes'm. $10,000. Golly, Grandmama, you rich. Mama, she holds the check away from her, still looking at it. Slowly, her face sobers into a mask of unhappiness. This is what I was referring to. A lot of students don't understand. Why is Mama unhappy when she's looking at this check and realizing she's rich? She can afford her dreams now. It's because she's thinking about where she got this money from and that she would rather have her husband than this money. I mean, of course you'd rather have your husband than money. $10,000. She hands it to Ruth. Put it away somewhere, Ruth. She does not look at Ruth. Her eyes seem to be seeing something somewhere very far off. $10,000 they give you. $10,000. Travis to his mother sincerely. What's the matter with Grandmama? Don't she want to be rich? Ruth distractedly. You go on out and play now, baby. Travis exits. Mama starts wiping dishes absently, humming intently to herself. Ruth turns to her with kind exasperation. You've gone and got yourself upset. Mama not looking at her. I expect if it wasn't for you all, I would just put that money away or give it to the church or something. Ruth, now what kind of talk is that? Mr. Younger would just be plain mad if he could hear you talking foolish like that. Mama stopping and staring off. Yes, he sure would. Sighing, we got enough to do with that money, all right. She halts then and turns and looks at her daughter-in-law hard. Ruth avoids her eyes and Mama wipes her hands with finale and starts to speak firmly to Ruth. Where did you go today, girl? Ruth, to the doctor. Mama impatiently. Now, Ruth, you know better than that. Old Dr. Jones was strange enough in his way, but there ain't nothing about him makes somebody slip and call him she like you done this morning. Well, that's what happened. My tongue slipped. You went to see that woman, didn't you? Ruth defensively giving herself away. What woman you talking about? Mama angrily. That woman who? Walter enters in great excitement. All right, stop. I don't know if anybody understands this. Mama has figured out that Ruth did not go see their doctor. She went and saw a woman, and she didn't say that female doctor. She said that woman, because the woman that Mama is talking about isn't really a doctor at all. This is a woman who performs a certain operation on other women, because at that time, those women couldn't go to doctors and get it done. Can anybody guess what operation do you do onto a pregnant woman? And the answer would be yes. I think Mama thinks that Ruth went to go see an abortion doctor, or in this case, it's probably not even a doctor, just a woman who performs abortions. So basically someone who is going to destroy her baby while it's inside her body still. And Mama said angrily, that woman who? So already we know right off the bat, does Mama believe in abortion? Does Mama think that it is okay to destroy a baby within your body, especially one that's going to be part of her family? And already the fact that Mama is angry about it, that woman who, gives me the idea that Mama is not a fan of that. Now, I just want to step back and I want to tell people, nowhere am I telling anybody how you are to live or what you are to believe. What we are discussing now is the character's opinions, just to let you know. So let's continue. So now here comes Walter, and OMG, let's talk about it. Mama and Ruth are in here right now, and they're talking about, I think, let's wait and see, possibly aborting Walter and Ruth's baby. Now, Walter comes in great excitement, and he says right away, did it come? Now, what is Walter referring to? He's talking about the check, because that's all Walter is thinking about right now. He believes that check will help him to achieve his dreams of owning his own business, correct? He doesn't even know that his wife is pregnant, much less possibly contemplating an abortion. So he's all freaking about the money when in reality, Mama at this moment in time, she doesn't care at all about the money. She's only interested in the family. And in this case, we're talking about Ruth and their child. So Mama says quietly, can't you give people a Christian greeting before you start asking about money? Walter to Ruth, did it come? Did you notice that, by the way? He came in, did it come? And Mama said, can't you at least say hello to people? And he didn't say, okay, hi, Mom, hi, Ruth. He just ignored Mama and said to Ruth, did it come? He doesn't even care what Mama has to say. He only cares about the money. Now, question. If right now they say to him, Walter, Ruth is pregnant, do you think then he'll stop thinking about the money? Holy crap, that's amazing. Great news. Who cares about money? We're pregnant. Yay. I don't know. How about this? If they say, Walter, your wife is pregnant and she's possibly thinking about having an abortion, would that get Walter to hopefully stop thinking about the money for a minute and start thinking about his family? Again, I don't know. How much is Walter obsessed with that money? How much does he believe it's the only way he can achieve his dreams? Let's see. Walter to Ruth, did it come? Ruth unfolds the check and lays it quietly before him. watching him intently with thoughts of her own. Walter sits down and grasps it close and counts off the zeros. $10,000. He turns suddenly frantically to his mother and draws some papers out of his breast pocket. Mama, look, old Willie Harris put everything on paper. Mama, son, I think you ought to talk to your wife. I'll go on out and leave you alone if you want. Oh, I can talk to her later, Mama. Look, son, will somebody please listen to me today? Mama, quietly. I don't allow no yelling in this house, Walter Lee, and you know it. Walter stares at them in frustration and starts to speak several times. And there ain't going to be no investing in no liquor stores. But Mama, you ain't even looked at it. Mama, I don't even have to speak on that again. A long pause. Okay, so what's going on now? Walter still doesn't know about the pregnancy or the possible abortion. All Walter is thinking about is opening this business with the money. And Mama has already said, no, I'm not doing it. And I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that it's probably because it's a liquor store. Although I don't know, if he came back and said, I want to open up a diner or a restaurant or a newspaper store or a candy store, would Mama have said, okay, let's do it. Let's take our money and risk it? Probably not, because again, she wants that house. She doesn't want a business that they could possibly lose. But think about, again, put yourself in Walter's shoes. His whole life, his dreams have been deferred by everybody outside, specifically white America and the government. But now his own mama is deferring his dream. She's not even looking at the papers. It's like she's saying, sorry, don't care about your dreams. We're only going to do mine right now. So if you're Walter, this is really bothering you. Listen, Walter, you ain't looked at it and you don't aim to have to speak on it again? You ain't even looked at it and you've decided? Crumpling his papers. Can I just point something out again, everybody? It's Mama's money. She does get to decide what to do with her money. But Walter's upset because he knows she's going to give some of that money to Benita for school. Why can't she give some of that money to him for this business? He crumbles his papers. Well, you tell that to my boy tonight when you put him to sleep on the living room couch. Turn it to Mama and speaking directly to her. Yeah, and tell it to my wife, Mama. Tomorrow when she has to go out of here to look after somebody else's kids. And tell it to me, Mama. Every time we need a new pair of curtains and I have to watch you go out and work in somebody's kitchen. Yeah, you tell me then. Walter starts out. Ruth, where are you going? Walter, I'm going out. Ruth, where? Just out of this house somewhere. Ruth, getting a coat. I'll come too. I don't want you to come. I got something to talk to you about, Walter. That's too bad. Mama, still quietly. Walter Lee. She waits, and he finally turns and looks at her. Sit down. Walter, I'm a grown man, Mama. Ain't nobody said you wasn't grown, but you're still in my house and my presence. And as long as you are, you'll talk to your wife, Sybil. Now sit down. Ruth suddenly. Oh, let him go out and drink himself to death. He makes me sick to my stomach. She flings her coat against him and exits to the bedroom. So now he is, Ruth says, I'll come with you. She wants to go tell him about the fact that she's pregnant, share this news. And he says, I don't want to have anything to do with anybody. Because according to Walter, he believes Ruth is part of this as well, that Ruth is also trying to defer his dreams. But it's not. It's just Mama. And is she deferring his dreams? No. She's realizing her own dreams. But Walter doesn't see it that way. And now Ruth feels deflated and awful because Walter is, angry at her as well. Walter violently flinging the coat after her. Oh, wait, I just want to say this. She just said he makes me sick to my stomach. Now look what he says to her. Violently flinging the coat after. So he throws the coat after his wife. And you turn mine too, baby. The door slams behind her. That was my biggest mistake. OMG. He just said that marrying his wife was his biggest mistake. And that means that Travis is also a mistake. He doesn't believe that. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, we say sometimes the worst and meanest things to the people we love the most when we are really upset. And Walter is really upset right now, and he just said something. I don't think he means it at all, but he still said it. Mama, still quietly. Walter, what is the matter with you? Matter with me? Ain't nothing the matter with me. Yes, there is. Something eating you up like a crazy man. Something more than me not giving you this money. You are so right, Mama. You are right. What is eating up Walter? What's about to, what's like a heavy load? What's going to make him explode? The fact that his dreams are always being deferred. He has no chances in life. He's got nothing to hope for, dream for, live for. Something more than me giving you this money. The past few years, I've been watching it happen to you. You get all nervous acting and kind of wild in the eyes. Walter jumps up impatiently at words. I said, sit down there now. I'm talking to you. Mama, I don't need no nagging at me today. Seem like you get into a place where you always tied up in some kind of knot about something. But if anybody asks you about it, you just yell at them and bust out the house or go out and drink somewhere. Walter Lee, people can't live with that. Ruth's a good, patient girl in her way, but you getting to be too much. Boy, don't make the mistake of driving that girl away from you. Why? What'd she do for me? She loves you. Mama, I'm going out. I want to go off somewhere and be by myself for a while. So poor Walter, he's so distressed about his dreams being deferred that he can't even be happy in his life or even with his family. It's destroying him. Mama, I'm sorry about your liquor store, son. It just wasn't the thing for us to do. That's what I want to tell you about. I got to go out, Mama. He rises. It's dangerous, son. What's dangerous? When a man goes outside his home to look for peace, Walter beseechingly, then why can't there ever be no peace in this house then? Mama, you done found it in some other house? No, there ain't no woman. Why do women always think there's a woman somewhere when a man gets restless? He picks up the check. Do you know what this money means to me? Do you know what this money can do for us? He puts it back. Mama, I want so many things. Yes, son. I want so many things that they're driving me kind of crazy. Mama, look at me. I'm looking at you. You a good-looking boy. You got a job, a nice wife, a fine boy, and a job? He looks at her. Mama, a job? I open, I close car doors all day long. I drive a man around in his limousine, and I say, yes, sir, no, sir, very good, sir. Shall I take the drive, sir? Mama, that ain't no kind of job. That ain't nothing at all. Very quietly, Mama, I don't know if I can make you understand. Understand what, baby? Quietly. Sometimes it's like I can see the future stretched out in front of me, just plain as day, the future. I'm hanging over there at the edge of my days, just waiting for me, a big looming blank space full of nothing. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. He has no dreams, and now he's articulating, he's saying it straight up. I have nothing to look forward to me. It's nothing. It's waiting for me. But it don't have to be. Pause, kneeling beside her chair. Mama, sometimes when I'm downtown and I pass them cool, quiet-looking restaurants where them white boys are sitting back and talking about things, sitting there tuning deals worth millions of dollars, sometimes I see guys don't look much older than me. Son, how come you talk so much about money? Walter, with immense passion. Because it is life, Mama. Quietly. Oh, very quietly. So now it's life. Money is life. Once upon a time, freedom used to be life. Now it's money. I guess the world really do change. Guys, remember, Mama was born in the 1880s, 1870s, 80s, 90s. So in her time of growing up, what was life? Just being free. Now, Walter, is he really free? No, that's the point. See, Mama says to him, you're free, Walter. You're not a slave. You're not an indentured servant. But Walter says, Mama, no. And he has a hard time explaining this to her. I'm not really free, Mama. I'm not free to go to college. I'm not free to be a CEO of a building. I'm not free to become a lawyer. I can't become a police officer. I can only be harassed by police officers and harassed by CEOs. So now it's life. Money is life. Once upon a time, freedom used to be life. Now it's money. I guess the world really do change. No, it was always money, Mama. We just didn't know about it. No, something has changed. She looks at him. You something new, boy. In my time, we was worried about not being lynched and getting to the north if we could and how to stay alive and still have a pinch of dignity too. Now here come you and Benita talk about things we ain't never even thought about, hardly, me and your daddy. You ain't satisfied or proud of nothing we done. I mean, that you had a home, that we kept you out of trouble till you was grown, that you don't have to ride to work on the back of nobody's streetcar. You my children, but how different we done become. Walter, a long beat. He pats her hands and gets up. You just don't understand, Mama. You just don't understand. Son, do you know your wife is expecting another baby? Walter stands stunned and absorbs what his mother has said. See, now finally, Walter has finally something's gotten through to Walter. Now, my question is, how does he deal with this? Does he run in right now, put his arms around his wife and say, I got you, baby, I'm with you? Or does he continue on with his problems and his dreams? Son, do you know your wife is expecting another baby? Walter stands stunned and absorbs what his mother has said. That's what she wanted to talk to you about, Walter. Walter sinks down into a chair. This ain't for me to be telling. But you ought to know. She waits. I think Ruth is thinking about getting rid of that child. Walter, slowly understanding. No, Ruth wouldn't do that. When the world gets ugly enough, a woman will do anything for her family, the part that's already living. So what Mama is insinuating now is that Ruth is thinking about aborting the baby because she thinks that having the baby is going to hurt the rest of the family. So in order to save the rest of the family, she is willing to destroy the baby. Now, Mama obviously is not agreeing with that at all. Now, how does Walter feel about this? He has just been told that his wife is possibly going to abort his baby, kill his baby. Walter, you don't know Ruth, Mama, if you think she would do that. Ruth opens the bedroom door and stands there a little limp. Ruth, beaten. Yes, I would too, Walter. I gave her a $5 down payment. There's total silence as the man stares at his wife and the mother stares at her son. Okay, Walter has just been told that his wife is planning on aborting, killing their child. How does he react? Mama is waiting to hear him say. In fact, she's going to say it. Son, I'm waiting to hear you say something. I'm waiting for how to be your father's son. Be the man he was. Now, remember, we learned that what destroyed Big Walter, what ended up killing him over time, the fact that one of his children died, wasn't killed, wasn't aborted, but was just died as an infant. And that destroyed the father. And she's saying to him, if you're like your father, you wouldn't allow your son or daughter to be destroyed, to be killed. No. You'll stand up and fight for that baby. You will stand up and fight for your wife too. Pause. The silence shouts. Your wife says she's going to destroy your child. And I'm waiting to hear you talk like him and say, we are people who give children life, not who destroys them. She rises. I'm waiting to see you stand up and look like your daddy and say, we done give up one baby to poverty and that we ain't going to give up nary another one. I'm waiting. Ruth, you can say nothing. Mama, if you a son of mine, tell her. Walter picks up his keys and his coat and he walks out. She continues bitterly. You are a disgrace to your father's memory. Somebody get me my hat. So, and that's where we're going to stop for today. It's perfect timing. We're going to pick up on Act 2 when we pick up the rest of assignment number 4, assignment 4B. I just want to point out, Walter didn't say anything. He didn't tell her to not do it. He didn't tell her to do it. He just left. Why? Because again, Walter is only worried about himself and his dream right now. It's so important to him that he is blocking out every other part of his life, including his wife, his child, his mother, his other son. We'll see how this goes on. Mama is certainly not happy with Walter. I think Ruth was actually hoping to hear Walter say, no, don't do that. We'll see what happens. Is Ruth going to go through with it? Is Mama going to let her? Is Walter going to let her? Is Walter going to get this money from Mama? There's still so much we have to find out with this in play. In this play, we've only read one act. We have a whole nother one to go. Everybody, have a fantastic day.